Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the collective and anyone who finds this reading. Collective, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link, my official Instagram and TikTok, all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. I hope all of you are doing well. This is a new series that I am starting, all having to do with traveling through the major arcana. And if you're here today, you have found yourself as the magician. So the magician is the number one of the major arcana. It comes right after the fool. So the idea is that we've taken the great leap of faith. We've put our trust in ourselves and in spirit to start something new, to set out on a new adventure. But as an adult, having a kind of childlike wonder. But we've proven it to ourselves. We know that we can do it. We've taken so many leaps of faith, and they've all proven to be useful to teach us lessons, to get us places. By the time we get to the magician energy, we're absolutely in our power. We understand how to manifest. We look at all of the resources that we have, and we use them to our advantage. Our wits, our emotions, our resources in the material world, our intellect, right? And our sheer force of will to be determined enough to go after a goal, a hope, a wish, a dream. Not only to trust that spirit will help us, but to know that we can help ourselves. We can walk towards that manifestation. That's what the magician card is all about. So, where the fool is just being brave enough to take that first step, by the time we get to the magician, it's like we are a little bit of an old hand at things. We understand that our mindset controls how our outlook is, directly influences our reality. We can see things as challenges, or we can see things as opportunities. I believe this is something that, at least this is what my military friends have said to me in the past, that at least one friend of mine, he always loved to tell a story. He used to be an old boss, but he was in the military, and he'd say that if somebody came up to him and they'd say, Sergeant, whatever this guy's title was, Sergeant, we have a big problem down by the barracks. This, and this happened. And the sergeant would say, fantastic. Great opportunity, right? Because every challenge was something to overcome, to do it with a lot of enthusiasm, to welcome the challenge, to learn from it, to exceed your own expectations, right? We don't know, the magician doesn't expect miracles at the onset. The magician is quite well aware that they are responsible for kind of understanding the ins and outs of the manifestation. So for example, we can absolutely manifest a new car, for example. And some of you have been manifesting a new car, and Spirit confirms it. Now, some of you could enter into a contest and say, I'm going to win that new car, and it could happen that way. It doesn't usually happen that way for most people, though. It starts with an idea, something that germinates. It's like, okay, I want a X, Y, and Z car. You pick whatever car you would like. You pick it. Actually, visualize it with me right now. You pick the car that you want, the style, the color, the model, the year. And then what does the magician do? The magician starts to look at how they can get that car. Starts researching, right? Using their intellect, the sword's energy. They start researching all of the dealerships in the area that sell that car and who has the best price, who has the best financing. The magician also looks at their own 3D material world. They look at their pentacles, they look at their finances and say, okay, this is the extent of what I can afford every month. This is what I can put down. The magician uses their cups energy, the emotional body, to embody that feeling of sitting behind the wheel in the driver's seat, driving that car, imagining what it would feel like to drive that car, right? So you're starting to get to the gist of how the magician works. We can put out into the universe what we want, but then the magician takes steps towards that goal and proves to the universe, I'm serious about this car. My mindset is on this car. I want it. I'm gonna have it. So I also want to point out here the image from the White Witch Tarot, which I will show you in one moment. There's a lot of eyes happening here. There's some kind of horned energy, like a ram. A little bit feels like Aries. A little bit, although the magician is Gemini and Virgo, I feel a little bit of Aries energy here as well. There's a kind of determination about Aries. This youthfulness, this wanting to get out and go. So I'm going to be using 3 decks for your reading today, magicians. The White Witch Tarot for the overall energy. The What We've Forgotten Oracle deck to serve as the portals, the entryways into this magician energy, and the Artist Decoded Tarot for the clarifiers. The cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for all those magicians out there who found themselves at this reading. I'm going to take 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier. The first 2 cards will illustrate where we've been, the second 2 where we're headed, and the third, advice from Spirit. Advice from Spirit. 3 cards down, getting the tarot. Okay. Where we've been. Number 19, which corresponds to the Sun card of the major arcana. The Sun card representing the most beautiful, abundant, life-giving energy of the entire deck. Sun card is pretty positive energy. Pretty powerful too. It's the most powerful celestial body in our immediate system. It is responsible for life on this planet, and it is nothing to take for granted. The card, however, represented here says crossroads. So where we've been to this place where we've questioned a lot about ourselves. Like this raccoon even looks like a magician with all of his adornment. You could have a lot of, like I have some necklaces on today. You could wear a lot of chains, a lot of gold. Also, this feels a little bit tribal too. Tribal. This could be tribal. I see something right here. I don't know if some of you wear something right here. Could be tribal jewelry. It's almost as if there's been this light that has illuminated so much in your life, and now you're at this point where it's like, I do recognize my personal power. What do I do with it? That's always the number one hindrance to manifestation, which is figuring out what the heck it is that you actually want. Difficult to do. It's been difficult for me to do in some instances, because there's always this little sense of a double-edged sword. What if I actually get what I asked for? Right, so then you start second guessing yourself. In those cases, I would recommend just talk to your spirit guides about it. It's like, Spirit, you know what my heart is. You know that I don't want any BS. Help me figure out exactly what I want. It falls under the guidelines of this and this and this. Help me refine it, Spirit. Show me. Show me the way. You know? Ask your spirit guides for help. but it's the number one hindrance, this crossroads, this questioning. We could go this way or that. He's so cute, isn't he? It's such a strange image, because of course it reminds me of like the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's Marvel, right? I don't know. I think it's Marvel. Maybe there's something to that. Marveling, the word marvel, to marvel at something, to be in awe, to be awestruck. To be awestruck by your own magic, your own power, your personal power, to marvel at it. I want to say the word Rocky, like Rocky the Raccoon, which I know is not the name of that particular character, but I don't think, but there's a character named Rocky Raccoon. Rocky could be your name, could be the name of something in your life. It could refer to the movie Rocky, which now makes me think of Philadelphia. You could be from Philadelphia, or have an affinity to the movie Rocky, which is all about kind of overcoming odds. Rocky is a very old movie, and I think it came out like when I was 3. I don't remember when it came out. But that movie is all about a boxer, right? And overcoming odds. So I think you have overcome some odds, because it's clarified by the King of Pentacles in the reverse. The King of Pentacles is Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. For me, heavy emphasis on Capricorn. The King of Pentacles in the upright would suggest somebody who is very financially stable, has their home life in check, their relationships, their friendships, their soul tribe. Very stately, very generous, very calm. It's just like all their ducks in a row. Very powerful. But you got this card in reverse. So I feel as though some of the crossroads in where you've come from have involved a little bit of lack mentality. Like, I don't have enough to start this business or go on this trip or get this car, whatever it is. I don't have enough. I'm not sure. You're moving away from that mindset of being unsure. Right? You're overcoming that lack mentality. I'm looking at this card again of the Magician, and I see these two kind of eyes in the hands. It makes me think of my, or not my practice, but the practice of Reiki. When I practice Reiki, I kind of do this. When I create the chi ball, the energy ball, when I send out energy to the recipient of the Reiki, but I always draw the Reiki symbols on my hands to be able to transmit that energy. And I feel like it's almost like somehow you're using your hands to shift energies somehow. I don't know if you are doing Reiki or Tai Chi or even karate. Tai Chi and karate are very, very different. But this, maybe it's dance, could be interpretive dance, that this you're using your body in some way to access the flow. Could be a yoga practice, a Pilates practice, using your energy to access. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, I'm on to something here. That you're using this practice to bring yourself into a kind of alignment so you can put your manifestations out to the world. Right? You've had to overcome this. This just feels like doubt. Crossroads and the King of Pentacles in reverse. Let me get a clarifier for the King of Pentacles in reverse, please. Where we've been. Thank you. Page of Cups. Page of Cups is interesting because There's one reader I just watched, Quantum Queen, Joss. She at Quantum Queen, and she's like, what did she say? The Page of Cups has a fish in the cup. Something's fishy in there. You know, that's the way she said it yesterday. It was very funny, but it's like, it's very true. It's a slippery fish, right? It's this idea that Page of Cups usually is this authentic gesture of love or friendship, somebody extending their hand and saying, hey, you know, take my hand into this new love affair, into this new friendship. It's like, I'm coming with a lot here. But at a page level, sometimes it can be a little fickle. Like, it reminds me of, you know how like when you're in elementary school, when you're little, it's like you have a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and oh, like after literally one conversation, now we're a couple, and 3 days later we break up. It's like that. That's what I feel from this energy. I don't know why. It feels very, it's not that it's not authentic, but it's like, what are we actually capable of at the time that we're offering it, or the time that's being offered to us? When you're 7 years old and you're in 2nd grade maybe, and you hold a boy's hand, that means that he's your boyfriend. And then the next day he's not your boyfriend anymore because he stole your chocolate milk or whatever. Right? What is it that we were capable of in this energy right now? Or rather, not right now, but in where we've come from, right? Maybe this was all that was on offer, all that could be offered. And while it was authentic, it was not enough. It was not enough to sway you, right? So you found yourself at a crossroads. It wasn't appealing enough. So where are we headed? Number 63, which reduces to a 9, the Hermit energy, Virgo. Magician is Virgo and Gemini. Eternal life. So what a massive leap from where we've been, pre-magician energy, almost pre-fool energy, doubting, scared, fearful, cynical, Spirit just said, to moving into something that is understanding of how far our spirit travels, how far our spirit extends out into the world. Your reach is much farther than you think it is. Your energy goes much farther than you think it does. And your spirit guides, your ancestors, your archangels that surround you, it's like you walk with them, right? Or they walk with you. It's like this is you and this is them. Like always by your side, even if you can't see them, you can feel that they're there. Maybe you've walked many lifetimes together. In the Hermit energy, which is the number 9 referenced here with the 63, Hermit energy talks about retreating within, coming to a kind of reckoning with ourselves, with oneself, understanding the fears, the triggers, the traumas, healing from them, understanding what our spiritual gifts are, which are all different for everybody. Thank you, Spirit. So spiritual gifts are being highlighted for you at this time. You could be seeing a lot of synchronicities. I want to say word synchronicities. For people, it's usually numbers. I hear at the emergency response vehicles, it's words. It's words. Spirit has been showing you either the same words or trigger words that cause you to perk up when you see them on a license plate, on a billboard, on an invoice, on a whatever. Could be names, of loved ones that you keep seeing over and over and over. That is not a coincidence. Thank you, Spirit. It's absolutely the spirit world trying to speak to you, to let you know, right? Giving you clues. They're like beautiful and not annoying spiritual breadcrumbs. Usually when we breadcrumb people, that's a bad thing. But when spirit leaves breadcrumbs, it's kind of fun. It's kind of like choose your own adventure a little bit. Clarifying it though is the Ten of Swords in reverse. This is a brutal card. Ten of Swords talks about, it's beyond heartache and heartbreak. It's devastation. It's a flattening, a reckoning, betrayal energy that is in the reverse for you. Where you're headed, you're leaving all of this in the past. You're leaving all of this behind, right? It's like you see how they're not facing the viewer? It's like you're walking away from this energy. You're walking, it's no longer serving you. You know, I just did a Reiki session actually for a Virgo, and I saw things in this Reiki session that I never imagined that I could get to that place. But you know, there were things that I saw that I knew no longer needed to be there, like bad memories. And I asked that person's spirit guides to let them go, that they've served their purpose and they're no longer required or are useful to this person. And so part of the Reiki healing was to release all of those negative energies and all the negative feelings associated with that memory, right? So this is what I see here for you as well. There's something kind of dark, and the spirit just said the word damp, which is not a great word. It's kind of like that other word that starts with an M that nobody likes, especially me, and I'm not going to say it. Damp. Sorry, I'm feeling a sharp pain right in like the top of my shoulder blade. I don't know if you are feeling a sharp pain back there all of a sudden. Feels very tense right there. So when I started talking about this Ten of Swords energy, it's almost, you know, it's, you know what they call this card? The card of being stabbed in the back. I hope that's not a reality or has been a reality for you in your past, but it's happened to people. So if that is, if that actually happened to you physically or that happened to you emotionally, I'm sending you a lot of healing and support. Actually, going to, sorry, a card. I went to reach for my Palo Santo, and the What We've Forgotten deck is sitting right here, and my arm brushed by it and knocked one of the cards off the top, and it's synchronicity. See? I told you. Number 6, the Lover's card reference here. I told you. Word synchronicity. Spirit is showing you. Spirit is guiding you. It's very exciting. I'm excited for you. That's one of the easiest ways that I think people can understand their newfound connection to their spirit guides. When you start seeing synchronicities, it's like, what's happening? You know? Am I in the Twilight Zone? No. You're very much living life even more fully and profoundly than you ever have before. And it's all internal, you know? I mean, sometimes it's not. Just clear the energy for the collective right now. The best is when you experience synchronicities with another person. That's the literal best. That's so profound when you share it with another person and they feel it too, and it's just something that bonds you. I talked about this in one of my honey drop stories. which I would love for you to watch. Just check under my playlists. So that's where we're heading, right? We're heading to this place where Spirit is kind of leaving these beautiful, positive breadcrumbs, these synchronicities, to help us to understand our relationship not only to them, but to the divine itself, to let go of these backstabby, betrayal-y energies that are plaguing us and that have, it's like they weigh us down. Magician doesn't have time for that. We're not looking back, we're looking forward. That's magician energy. And so beautifully, your advice from Spirit to end the reading. Number 9, the Hermit card referenced here. Another Virgo. Lots of Virgo energy in this reading today. Hero's journey. Thank you, Spirit. It's like celebrating you. Celebrating you. It's the fool's journey, the hero's journey. The star of your own movie, right? The star of your own life, the hero of your own story. That is what I'm hearing right now. My crown chakra's buzzing. This door is opening for you, and you are walking through it, and Spirit is casting all of this golden, beautiful, abundant light upon you. Look, see? It's almost like they're walking through the hallway with you, right? And as you get closer and closer and closer to, you know, obviously they're in spirit. As you get closer and closer and closer to the door, it's like this light casts upon you. And it's clarified so beautifully by number 8 of the Major Arcana, Strength. Leo energy. Overcoming our ego, overcoming those fears and triggers, getting to a place of calm, getting to a place of kind of overcoming our own sense of identity to step into a new sense of identity, right? Like letting go of past narratives of what we relegated ourselves to be, because we're stepping into magician mode, into a place of manifestation, into a place of proactive dreaming, proactive imagining, right? I see, it's like I see in my mind, it's like your eyes are a projector. Like your mind's eye. Imagine your mind's eye, and whatever it is that you dream for yourself, it's like I tapped a projector right into your brain and I could see it outside of you. That's what manifestation is. You can see it outside of you. That's the world. So really get into that headspace, master that headspace. Imagine your mind as the projector outside of you, creating your own magical reality. So that's your reading, collective. I hope that you could relate to it and identify with it. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Stay